episode of the Wellness Lounge, I sit down to talk to two empowering women who have focused their talents on helping others to navigate love, relationships, dating, and intimacy through coaching and other programs. And later in the show, I will introduce this week's Daily Drop. So sit back, relax, and let's learn love together. Welcome to the Wellness Lounge.
This week's episode of the Wellness Lounge contains sexual health information that may not be age appropriate for young viewers. Parental discretion is advised. To start off by saying thank you so much, Jovita and Dr. Cassandra, for joining me on today's episode of the Wellness Lounge. I'm so excited about this topic that we're about to delve into and explore around women's health and women's health issues, but also some of the things that we just probably in general conversations don't talk about. And that's really what happens, quote, in between the sheets, or what we need to learn about love. And so each of you come with a special, significant area of expertise, if you will. And so I really want us to be able to have an open and honest conversation about what that looks like, not only for us as women, but maybe with our partners as well. And so with that, let me first introduce each of my guests. I have with us today Dr. Cassandra Parks, who is a certified relationship, dating, and intimacy coach and sexual educator, among many other talents. I am sure she will offer some invaluable information on just how we can love ourselves, as well as have fun and healthy relationships, dating, and intimacy we desire. And then I also have with us Jovita N. Miller of Jovita N. Miller Enterprises. And she is a mentor, a consultant, and an author of the newly released book, In Between the Sheets. Jovita seeks to empower women to live confident, authentic lives unapologetically. It is not what you all think it is. I can't wait to discuss this book more. So, with that, let's start with Jovita. Can you tell our audience just a little bit about yourself and why you wrote the book?
Okay, well, hi, and thank you, Dr. Tiffany, for inviting me and having me on the show. I'm so excited. I am Jovita, and I help single moms just overcome their challenges so that they can reduce stress, find time for themselves, and live a life full of love and abundance. Like Dr. Tiffany said, my passion, my overall mission is to empower women to live confident, authentic lives unapologetically. So the reason why I wrote this book is because we all sit around with our girlfriends and we have these conversations, and there are some people in the group who are shy to the conversation. And I think it's a conversation that needs to be had because it goes a little bit deeper into our sexuality because we don't talk about it. And I think we should embrace our sexuality because it's healthy. You know, it's a healthy part of our lives. So that was one of the main reasons why I wrote the book, is so that we can have a conversation about women and their sexuality and be open to it.
And that's awesome. And so I think when I was putting the show together, I think I shared with you guys earlier that I honestly did not even consider how perfectly your book, In Between the Sheets, married with Dr. Cassandra's company, which is Let's Learn Love, and all of her specific talents in that. And so, Dr. Cassandra, please tell us what it is that you do and how you help us learn love.
Well, first of all, thank you, Dr. Taft, for having me on your show. I am very excited to be here, and Jovita's book sounds absolutely wonderful, and I must get a copy soon. But just to let you know, Let's Learn Love is a coaching business here in Metro Atlanta, but I do take clients from all over the United States and the world, actually. And we do talk about love in all aspects. That's relationships, dating, and intimacy. A lot of people have to be taught how to love because we thought that love is something natural that we know, but we have to be taught love, whether it was a bad influence or a good influence. A lot of times we still need additional information. So my company is a one-stop shop, hopefully, from, getting yourself together, first of all, because you can't, if you don't love yourself, you cannot love anybody else. So I work with the individual all the way to, I'm actually an officiant, so I can actually marry you as well. And going on, if there are difficulties in marriage and you hit a rough spot, then I'm there to help you with your goals and get you through that as well.
That's awesome. And I think what you said, is truly a mouthful, but it all really starts with us learning to love ourselves first. Before we can love anyone else, you have to have that self-love. And so, Jovita, tell me, what do you do for self-love?
What I do for self-love, I actually learned this a long time ago. I get up in the morning, and when I'm in the mirror, I just compliment myself. I love on myself, basically. That's exactly what I do. I give myself compliments. I'm like, oh, you are beautiful. And I just kind of like hug myself like this. And I do that. And I started doing that just not because I didn't feel that way, but I liked who I saw in the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
So I figured, let me keep talking to her. Let me talk to this person in the mirror. And lo and behold, throughout the years, I realized that I had been creating my own self-care, self-love regimen, and didn't even realize it until maybe a few years ago that that's what I was actually doing. But that's what I do for self-love. I take care of me because I know if I'm not well enough or if I can't love myself, then how can I expect anybody else to love me?
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. So I want you, because I think what you just said marries well with one of the chapter titles in your books, and that is Turn on the Lights. So what happens when we turn on the lights?
When we turn on the lights, we see the true essence of ourselves, our beauty. We see that. And when we have the lights off, you don't get to see that. And you want yourself to see that, and then you want your partner to actually see your true beauty. Let's not try to hide it. Let's be confident in our bodies, how we look, and just everything there is about us. And that's why that chapter was the first chapter, because it's very important to know that's where you start. You start by just turning the light on and admiring yourself. Yeah. And loving yourself and learning to love all aspects of yourself, your body, your mind, just everything. Just totally get naked in front of that mirror and just love yourself. And once you feel confident about that, then that's just gonna that energy is just gonna give out. And once you give that out, they're gonna feel it and people are gonna gravitate towards you.
Yeah, I totally loved reading your book and picking out some of the components that even me, I feel like I embrace my womanhood in a different way than most. And I'm open and comfortable talking about sex and the body just by nature of who I am, but also by the work that I do. So there's very few conversations that I'm like, ooh, that's really uncomfortable. Even if it's in mixed company, there's not very much that's gonna catch me off guard. So I think it is important that we as women, but I think men too, be comfortable with the body that you're in and the person that you are, and realize that you're more than just this physical vessel that we see. We are a whole soul. And so, Dr. Cassandra, I imagine you probably have had clients that you have had to have some of these deep conversations about coming off the surface, right? And going a little bit deeper and really turning on those lights, or helping them turn on those lights for themselves?
Yes, yes, I have. And, that's the one thing that I am thankful for, is because before I did start my niche of relationships, dating, and intimacy, I was what is called, quote unquote, a general life coach. And what happened was, a lot of people were having issues. Well, I can't, have a budget. I don't know how to cook. I don't know, there were these little things that they wanted to fix, but they come to find out that it's something much deeper. Just like the example I gave of the budget. I had a young woman who said, I need a budget. I'm spending too much money. I don't know why I'm spending it. And then as we delve in her life a little bit, come to find out she was homeless at one point in time, and she lost all her things. So her buying things was a replacement of trying to, cover that up. Once we got through that, we worked through that. She didn't need a budget anymore. She realized what she was doing. So issues in relationships, especially if it's with a partner that is causing a lot of trouble, is usually something that's self-isolated.
Mhm.
So that's why it is so important to make sure that you have yourself together. And self-love, like you said, and like Miss Jovita said, is very important, because we don't have enough love for ourselves. And just to throw this in real quick, self it has a meaning. We tend to be too hard on ourselves. So I came up with a little acronym for self. S is study. Study what you like. Study what you don't like, because that way you know what to get through. Once you do that, exercise the good things that you like. That's the E in self. Exercise it daily, because if it's something that is good for you and it is good for your self-love, then you should do it often. The L is to let go of the things that are not good for you. We have a tendency of keeping things that we know aren't good for us, and we end up keep repeating the cycle. So let them go. And the F in that is forgive yourself. A lot of things with self-love and self-esteem is we don't tend to forgive ourselves for the mistakes that we did in the past. And we can't go forward if we don't forgive ourselves.
Ooh, wow.
Right.
Did she not listen? So many women are in relationships, right, that never healed from past wounds. They needed to hear what you just said.
Yes.
We need that acronym, all of us. And it's not to say even, for those of us that have arrived and are evolved, right? There are times and situations that come up in our lives and we're like, how did I do that? That was dumb. And so we have to revisit what this acronym really means so that we can be whole again and move forward through whatever that situation is. So,
And we'll be right back with more conversation, and let's learn love together. We'll be right back.
Want to appear on the Wellness Lounge with Dr. Tiffany Taft? Email the show at info@drtiffanytaft.com. Or you can hit us up on Facebook or Instagram at Dr. Tiffany Taft, or visit through our website at www.drtiffanytaft.com. And to view past shows, visit us on our YouTube channel at Dr. Tiffany Taft.
Jovita, please tell us what has been some of the, initial reactions to the title of the book? Like, are there preconceived assumptions about the book? Because I know when I first saw it, I was like, now, come on, man. What we about to talk about? And I was pleasantly surprised when I actually read through it. So tell me what kind of reactions when you tell people the title of your book.
Oh my gosh, the reactions are so funny to me, because I know that, I had a group of people help me come up with the title, right? And it was there. I probably would have never thought of this title, but they said, no, do that. And so when people hear In Between the Sheets, first reaction that I've heard was, oh, let me find out Jovita's a freak. Like, really? Mm-hmm. She's so quiet. I would have never expected that from her. It's just funny. And I laughed. I was like, yep. I said, wait till you read it, girl. It's going to be really good.
And why do we
And
have
then
to
once,
think and not just have many sides to us?
right,
There can be
exactly.
sides to us.
You know, maybe that's just a side that I'm just wanting to share. But it's just funny, the reaction, because it's like, oh, really? And they really think it's like, is it like Zane or somebody like that? Is it like Gray? I'm like, you just have to read the book to see. But I get that reaction all the time. To this day, I still get that reaction. And it's funny to me because I know that it goes deeper than that. But to bring you in, to get you there, it did what it was supposed to do. And I'm just so proud of it. Now, there has been one time that I got the reaction that shocked me. It was like, oh, I know you a deep person, so I'm pretty sure it ain't really what that title is saying. So I got that one time, but out of the rest of the time, it's like, oh, let me find out how much a freak you are. Oh my gosh. So those were the reactions.
Yeah. Well, and that's the whole point, right? Your title did the marketing for itself. And then once the people actually get it and read it, they'll see the jewels that are thrown just page after page after page in there. That is way more, way deeper than what you titled the book, right? So the educator in me wants to turn the conversation just a little bit and talk about statistics around. So let me just read a few statistics. And this is from the CDC. All right, 25% of African American women will suffer from fibroids by the time they're 25. By the time we're 50, which I just turned 50, by the time we're 50, that's 80% of African American women suffer from fibroids. Alongside of that, what are some of the top other conditions, female health issues that we typically hear about? It's polycystic ovarian disease syndrome, where people are dealing with infertility and it's painful. There's things like HIV and AIDS. There is, help me, Dr. Cass. There are
there's syphilis that is on the rise again. It has mutated, so now it's a super strain of it, and it's hard and difficult to get rid of with the medicine that we have now. Also, that's on the rise again is chlamydia. Chlamydia is very much on the rise, as well as gonorrhea. Especially here, I live in Atlanta, so in the southeast region, it is really, really high, guys. And no matter where you are, whether you're in the DMV area, in the southeast, or even West Coast, guys, I implore you, please, if you are not in a committed relationship, a monogamous relationship, and it has been agreed upon by both parties, please make sure that you practice safe sex. You know, there's female condoms, there's male condoms. Condoms are, of course, the best protection that you can have. If you're having oral sex, on females, make sure that you use a dental dam. If you're performing oral sex or fellatio on a male, use a flavored condom, but make sure that you do not do this. A lot of people also do not know that you can get venereal diseases and infections in your throat. And that can mutate and do some other things that are in your body. So please, you know, if you're not in a monogamous relationship, please practice safe sex. And especially during COVID, you know, is still a lot not known about COVID, but we do know that COVID is, of course, in saliva. It's also in the nasal passages, and it's also in feces. So that if you are into anal sex, you know, that's why it's important. Even if you do have a monogamous partner and you're unsure that they're COVID free, you know, if you do practice that, make sure that you wear a condom in as well.
Absolutely. All great points. And so the other piece to that is, while sex is fun, or can be, or should be fun, there are those adult conversations, right, that we need to have that are sometimes challenging to have and bring up with our intimate partners. So Jovita, in your book Anywhere, is there a particular chapter that you maybe addressed anything around relationships or those type of conversations?
I do, and I think it's in a couple chapters, I believe. But definitely the foreplay chapter, because it's when you're introducing, toys and other adult novelties to the relationship. I do speak about, how you have those conversations or how to actually get that conversation started. And in another chapter, like I said, it's throughout the books.
Sexual health, and so there's one when we'll get to these too. You talk about pelvic exercises.
Yeah,
That's
talk
around
about
sexual
that,
health.
and also like kind of making time for the relationship. Having set some time, have a date night, set some time for this, and explain it to the kids. Communicate it. For those who have kids, say, hey, either they're going to go away, or maybe you got upstairs, downstairs. The kids will be downstairs, and they know not to come upstairs because everybody's good. Food, drinks, all they need is down there with them. Unless somebody's dying, they don't need to come upstairs and bother mommy and daddy. And then, you have your time, but you communicate that.
Yeah.
In a way that they understand. They don't have to know your business, but at least they'll understand it. Like, okay, that's their time. They're spending time together. Okay, we just need to stay away. But I do talk about that in one or two of the chapters.
Okay, awesome. So yeah, the science is there. The knowledge is there on how to prevent and protect against these diseases. There is, for every one of them, I think that Dr. Cassandra mentioned, there is a medication or a cure, but that does not mean that we should be out here just being reckless with our bodies just for the sake of sex. We need more than just the physical act of sex. And so for women, I want us to be mindful that we are we are receivers, right? And so not just the partner that we happen to be with in the moment are we having sex with, but we're also having sex with at least the last 7 people that they have had sex with. And so it takes time for those sexual energies and connections are not just the person that you're with. It's more noticeable for the women because we are the receivers.
Tune in next week for part 2 of our conversation on Let's Learn Love as we delve deeper into intimacy, sexual health, and strategies women need to know to better navigate their relationships. Stay tuned, the Daily Drop is just ahead. In this edition of the Daily Drop, I'm going to share 2 oils that are sure to improve connection of mind, body, and spirit when it comes to women's health, infertility support, and romance. These oils are known as rose and ylang-ylang. The rose is known all over the world as a sign of love, affection, and romance. The petals are known for being an aphrodisiac, reducing feelings of stress and anxiety while keeping the skin looking young and healthy. It rejuvenates, stimulates, and harmonizes mind, body, and soul, all while keeping and helping to foster intimacy. It takes more than 10,000 petals to produce just 5 milliliters of the oil. And just like women, its delicate petals produces a beautiful aromatic fragrance that's surely never to be forgotten. Ylang-ylang is often used extensively in making perfumes in aromatherapy and has been used for years to lessen tension, promote a positive outlook, and reduce stress. Its sweet, rich, spicy scent is sure to catch your partner's attention and make you feel special like the unique flower you are. And just like rose, it's a popular scent for romance. So if you have questions about either of these oils or any of the oils that I've discussed on the Daily Drop, please feel free to send me an email at info@drtiffanytaft.com. Or if you're ready to purchase, please visit our website at www.drtiffanytaft.com. We'll be right back.
Want to spotlight your church, business, or organization? Reach your target audience, raise awareness, or broaden your reach? The Wellness Lounge offers several business opportunities across all our platforms, including television, digital, online, and on-show appearances. Television is still an excellent way to connect customers to your business, and digital offers opportunities to scale your brand and reach customers in a way that is in real time and increasingly personal. Plus, it's more affordable than you think. The Wellness Lounge offers affordable options for business and organizations of any size. Right now, we have special advertising rates for all new advertisers now through the end of the year who are interested in advertising their business or services, church, school, nonprofit group, or community events in the show or across our digital platforms. Come see why advertising on the Wellness Lounge is a great way to grow your business. Lock in a great rate today. For more information about advertising opportunities on the Wellness Lounge, email the Wellness Lounge at info@drtiffanytaft.com or visit our website at drtiffanytaft.com.
So I hope in this edition of the Wellness Lounge, this topic helped you to open and expand your mind around love, intimacy, and self-care. And as Dr. Cassandra mentioned, please remember self, because you have to love self before you can love anyone else. And so what is self? Just a reminder. Self is study, exercise, let go, and forgive yourself. And with that, please remember, be well and be informed.